And I love the internet.
Cause niggas like us do platinum every year. And if I rule the spin, it should've disappeared. Let everybody in the house throw your dubs in the air and wave them all around like a savvy Mac 10 in the pound, cooking nothing but the cash. I'm serving niggas like a host with the pound, so take a toast. Go off this West Coast and I
It's only dreaming.
here and let me see you. See me, Franklin Clinton.
Nice and tight, nice and tight. I am 18 inside, baby. 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 Come on. Come on.
We've been through a lot. We're both hurt. You've cried and I've cried tears, but no one's yet been shot. Our romance has dwindled and died, but it's a flame that will never die. And this is a power ballad, song about you and I. Usually sing about carnage and rape, but now I sure really.
I'm not stoned. Hell no, I'm relaxed, nigga. That's nice. I'm relaxed, man. I'm so relaxed. Happy. Happy as a motherfucker. I could shit myself. I hope I didn't shit myself.
Dangerous, and this is a power ballad. It's totally not the least bit.
Bored? Stupid? How about a fulfilling career as a stunt double? To break into Vinewood,
And says rock like cellos and violins.
the Academy is San Andreas's.
See, I don't just try.
We have classes in high, fading shot, knifed in the back, falling off a building on fire, and getting run over. If you make it through our course, you are ready for the big screen.
Make dull and vain famous people look cool by dressing up as them and risking your life and future health. Then have your face digitally removed on a green screen.
The Cunning Stunt Academy trains women too.
Ooh.
Have a nice rack? Vinewood needs stunt tits to show when an A-list celebrity is too bashful or has pancake nipples. The Cunning Stunt Academy. Fame. It's worth any price.
What happens when man's best friend becomes dinner? Dude Eat Dog, the reality cooking show that will have you looking at Fido in whole new, delicious ways. It's Bow Wow Chow, Dude Eat Dog on CNT.
Welcome to Los Santos, the city of celluloid, sin, and cellulite removal. From dead starlets in Vinewood, to the gangbangers in Davis and Strawberry, and terracels in Chumash, to the drunken tourists in Del Perro Pier. It's time to take a look inside this cesspit of destroyed dreams, drug-addled degenerates, and deluded desperados that make up this great city of lights. Hi. I'm decorated FIB agent Stephen Haynes. The FIB, the police department, the sheriff's office are fighting a war out here every day in a city where dreams too often become wet with tears. The Los Santos docks. This is where it all begins. The second largest port in the world, the great orifice of American capitalism. Stuff coming in, garbage going out, and hidden in over 2 million containers a day, God only knows what. The cartels pay off some low-level schlub, and suddenly you've got military-grade weapons, badly cut crystal meth, and grade A yayo from Mexico flooding our streets. And once it hits the hood, it's anarchy. The side of murder hold the prize. Or maybe the Chinese are slipping some of our high-security weapons systems in with the recycling. And we're giving up our national security for nothing? Who knows? Who cares? As long as the financial party continues, we'll just keep picking up the pieces. A word to the wise, kids. Never use PCP. It makes you want to punch cops and run around naked, and not necessarily always in that order. Most of the time, this illicit cargo makes it straight to the games. But sometimes an ordinary Joe lets go and loses his shit after a pipe or two of pleasure dust. The Vagos. Bloodthirsty Chicanos with a predilection for pain, papaya juice, and spicy plantains. They're one of the largest Mexican street gangs in the city, with rumored connections to several major mafias. While half the battle out here is fought with guns, the other half is with informants. Sometimes you need to become the bad guys to bust the bad guys. All right, guys, let's go. When the ballas and the families aren't shooting each other, they're selling the dope that the junkies are shooting into their veins. The families love sports almost as much as they love banging. Flashy, arrogant, competitive, and aggressive, they are lifelong bitter enemies of the ballas. Wearing the colors of the feud or the corkers, the families call themselves Gang Green. Of course, like all families, they love a good squabble. Subdivided into sets, such as the Chamberlain Gangsters and the Carson Avenue set, it turns out the families love shooting each other almost as much as they love shooting ballas. Now, the LSPD have had many run-ins with various family sets over the years. With the ballas, the FIB take a more community outreach approach. Hey guys, stay out of trouble now. Suck my Now the ballas fly the colors of the Los Santos Panic, or the Boers, purple, because they are the bruise on the face of this city. While some thugs obviously prefer 4 wheels, other desperados prefer 2. Leather, exhaust, and drugs. No, this isn't an exotic S&M party. These are one of the nation's toughest outlaw motorcycle gangs, the Lost. Rumors are they get a new tattoo for every person they stab. And it's definitely okay for your motorcycle mama to show her breast to your friends. The FIB has been tracking the Lost for years. We've jumped from coast to coast and have spent more time in the Midwest than a tornado spotter. When they're not running meth, they're smoking it. Or so I hear, a dangerous new drug on the streets called toilet cleaner. And believe me, your toilet will be cleaned after you've smoked some of it. Of course, Vinewood being Vinewood, it's not all about leathery dudes trying to show off on their motorbikes or roided up gangbangers stuck in some 90s time warp. This is the town that made mass murder into nostalgia. Of course, to become truly popular, your murder has to be both unsolved and gruesome. In a town full of alien spotters, adults dressed as zombies, and entertainers dressed as cartoon characters, it takes something particularly awful to really catch people's attention. The famous unsolved murder of a Vinewood starlet is one such case. For years, horny nerds have wondered what happened to Leonora Johnson, and if they would have plucked up the courage to speak to her or kill her themselves. It's inspired filmmakers, writers, and copycat killers. Conspiracy theorists have blamed various celebrities, the mayor, the Soviets, short skirts, women's liberation, and hidden aliens embedded amongst us for the murder. But not all crime is premeditated. Maybe drinking's your thing. Look at this drunken buffoon, proving that there doesn't always need to be criminal intent to cause serious criminal damage. Or maybe you're just an overprivileged poppycock, living on daddy's pension and protesting about the unfairness of capitalism. Maybe stock market manipulation is your bag, or loan sharking, double identity theft, assassination, or even worse, swinging. On our next episode, I, Stephen Haynes, will show you the flashier side of crime in Los Santos. Illegal street racing, cocaine, and vice. Yes, speed, snort, and sex. The alliterative threesome that helped hook America on the underbelly of paradise.
In times like these, it's important to remember the good things. Sure, the economy may be a little rough, and we may be shuttering schools, hospitals, and libraries to pay union pensions. But San Andreas is still the place where dreams are made. This is where counterculture begins, and the
Completely not stoned. I'm straight. Completely straight. I can do anything. I can be brain surgery. I can do that. I should have been a surgeon. That's what I should have been. Well, maybe Tanisha wouldn't hate me so much. She wouldn't hate me so much.
Retire at age 35 and receive health care and a salary for life on your dime. Otherwise, what's the point? That's impossible. That's not how economics work. Don't you understand? I'm extremely rich. I understand how economics work and what the working class needs. They want a six-pack of beer, an eager girl in their pickup truck, and a depressing folk tune playing on the radio. This here's a free country, boy. Free, but with thousands of rules and regulations to keep greedy corporations like you in line. If you don't like it, move to China. But because of the free trade agreement, that's where we'll have to move the company if we don't want to go out of business. We just want a sensible discussion of the issue. Oh, you're nothing short of a disgrace. If peaceful protest won't change your mind, we're going to have to solve this the old-fashioned way. With mind-bending, liberal, impotent rage! A victory for the working man! My work here is done.
But our workplace is destroyed!
Ah, hell, go on welfare. Kick back, get a six-pack and relax. You deserve it after all this work.
Why do we just want to work?
Braxton Industries, headed by billionaire liberal playboy Braxton Hunter, recently celebrated the closing of another highway to install more bike lanes and collective urban farms. Braxton recently returned from a trip to Antarctica on his private jumbo jet, where he'd been to accept an environmental award. Some critics say that Hunter is also the caped superhero Impotent Rage, because they look exactly alike and have the same voice, and Impotent Rage tends to show up right after Mr. Hunter quietly sneaks out. He has emphatically denied they are the same person.
A hero of the liberal media, others say Hunter is a rich, entitled asshole with too much time on his hands.
What? I am not a rich, entitled asshole with too much time on my hands. Woo, baby! Now that is one productive day's work. I'm gonna go home and do some yoga, drink some wheatgrass, and go to my favorite farmer's market.
Good morning, Braxton. You look great. You've got a bunch of voicemail messages.
From who?
Uberman.
Uberman! My arch nemesis! I hate that right-wing bully!
Hey, Impotent Rage, you pathetic hypocrite. I was just eating some whale sashimi and a manatee steak when my thoughts turned to you. Dumb, slow vegetarians whom the state will no longer protect. See you around, schmucko.
Oh, do I hate that man. Do I despise him?
Braxton, there. I know a way to calm you down. Something wet and relaxing that you'll really like.
Oh, a flaxseed smoothie. You've got a great idea, baby.
Braxton, I need to tell you something. I'm in love with you. I want you to take me, rip my clothes off, and thrust yourself inside me. Sometimes I feel like you don't even notice I'm here.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? Oh, it's okay. I get emotional about this stuff too, Violet. The environment, marriage rights, hemp clothing, recycling, placenta cakes. You know, I became a liberal at a very young age. My parents were... Violet, we're about to start the flashback sequence, so please wiggle back and forth for me now.
Okay.
My parents moved here as immigrants from Vice City and built a huge empire, exploiting people mercilessly. My father made a fortune strip mining, oiling, dumping toxic pollution, and marketing tobacco. He was a womanizer. And much more interesting to me, he belittled me constantly. And then he died before he could write me out of his will. And so I became the majority shareholder in a huge multinational company. I traveled the world. I joined lots of NGOs and did what any other impossibly rich, sexually confused rich kid does. Became a superhero. Through the art of self-meditation, yoga, and a freak green energy accident, which gave me unnatural godlike powers, I became Impotent Rage! Wait, what's that?
What is it?
It's my echo sense going off. That man isn't recycling.
Hey, Neanderthal! Do you know what century it is? Recycle that soda can, or I'll come down there and teach you a lesson you won't forget in a hurry! I can't stand being disrespected like this! The fuck's you cunt?
Braxton, quick! To the anger room!
Wow! Oh my God! All this relentless, self-righteous posturing. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. What is it? High-tech device of the future I've personally invented, even though I am otherwise entirely incompetent?
Impotent Rage, there's some trouble down by the river.
Fascism never sleeps. Violet!
I'm over here.
Of course you are. Why are you wearing that ridiculous outfit?
I thought superheroes run around in their underwear, so should their assistants. I thought you would like it.
Violet, it's that kind of hypersexualized clothing that exploits and demeans women.
Fuck me.
Fuck me! Time for Impotent Rage!
Where is it?
Here.
For the record, this is an organic, entirely fair trade cotton one piece that is dyed in berry juice, harvested by a lesbian commune. And it's every bit as effective at fighting crime as the synthetic fibers made popular by some of my rivals. Quick, to the suit-up montage!
Braxton?
What's this?
That's the cost to animate your overly elaborate and lengthy suit-up montage.
Got it. Okay, skip the montage. Let's go straight to Impotent Rage! Impotent Rage!
There are over 8 million species of migratory birds that travel through.
That protects your innocence any way they can. They are Tallulah, Sebastian Caden, Zoe, Quota, and Dirk.
We don't tolerate difference.
We're heterosexual lovers, damn.
Fight evil in multicolored skin tight car on suspended.
Pow! I'm happy to wait.
I don't even need to masturbate.
I dare upon the face of justice. Sex is bad.
And violence is good.
Gonna save the neighborhood from sex.
Rainbow laser born.
And what does science teach us that caused the dinosaurs to go extinct, Tallulah?
A giant meteor?
No, not a giant meteor. Sebastian Caden?
A huge flood?
That's right, Sebastian. A giant flood that in fact destroyed the dinosaurs and the Romans. Now, we as a civilization face an equally devastating threat from the environment. Now, what is that threat? Quota.
Climate change?
Correct, climate change. Ergo, a dangerous change in our moral climate that makes us stop caring about the terrible menace that will alter the future of civilization as we know it. Yes, I am talking about a football game. Now, this weekend's big game against our arch rivals, Wickenburg Canyon High. These are evil, evil people that must be stopped. Now next week we'll move on to the insect family and the important role abstinence plays in their survival. You see, family is important, people, and everyone in this school is like family. And that's why we don't sleep with each other, as incest is just icky.
Mr. Hitzman, do you really mean what you said?
Oh yes, crickets do talk, and they love waiting for that special person to make baby crickets with in a creative and loving way. Now one day, when I've mastered my inappropriate longings, I hope to meet an understanding Mrs. Hitzman and have some little baby Hitzmans running around. We'd probably get a Manny to play with them and help out around the house a bit. Perhaps he would be a strapping German boy with brown shirt and big muscles and an enigmatic laugh that said more than words ever could. And then in summertime, he'd work topless, his Aryan sweat producing a glimmering sheen off his sizable...
No, about the end of the world.
Oh, yes, of course, but you guys are going to stop it. Observe, Wickenburg Canyon High, state-funded.
Oh my God, ew!
There are some very dark things going on there in the name of so-called science. In fact, our recent intel tells us they are harvesting souls. That's right, millions of little souls called stem cells. Now, Team Stem Cells are harvested from a pregnant woman's belly button near that smelly, disgusting hole thing they have down there.
Is that called a vagina?
Yuck! Don't even say it! I believe the male member is much more elegant and surprising. Why, one time, I was playing a game of sword fights with my elder...
Sir,
About saving the world?
Yes, we have to stop them. You see, they want to build a mutant army and give people extra arms and legs so they can win at football and fondle your wives and daughters at the same time.
Really?
Really? Hey, where's Dirk?
Hey, team! Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force, yeah!
Dirk?
Oh, yeah, sorry I'm tardy. I'm just so full of school spirit, you know? Parvenu Hills rules, woo!
That's okay, Dirk. You're good at sports, so we turn a collective blind eye to your remedial level reading skills.
I can't read.
I know you can't. Lack of basic manners, mistreatment of classmates, and the fact that you're 25 years old and have yet to come close to graduating.
Oh, thank you, Hillary. I mean, Mr. Hitzman.
Yes, I was just telling the team about some of the terrible stuff that's been going on at Wickenburg.
Wickenburg can suck my nutsack, them boners!
Really? Can they? I mean, that won't be necessary, Dirk. Unless it would save America.
Now that would be controversial.
Maybe we should teach the controversy, Sebastian.
Atheists don't like that, sir. They like to present unproven theories made up by degenerates and transsexuals wearing dresses they call lab coats as if they're facts. Just like the fact that America is God's own country and our destiny is made manifest just like the earlier settlers did when they gave smallpox to the heathen so they could meet God quicker.
Very good, Quota.
Thank you, sir. I hope to one day be elected president, but based on my ability and integrity, not some liberal agenda which loves Muslims.
What a nice, noble, kind ambition. Although I hope to high hell it never comes true.
Me too, sir. I think I'll stick to basketball and making people feel uncomfortable when I talk to their daughter. I still don't have a date for the prom.
Oh, that's my boy. And I do mean boy in the most non-offensive way possible. Now, back to Wickenburg. I need you to do some reconnaissance. Listen closely. Here's what I'm thinking.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force! Kung Fu Laser Rainbow Force!
No! Reconnaissance. Go in your school clothes and report back.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Oh my god, it's like a bomb went off. I know.
These people only have one home. How repulsive.
I imagine some of them share toilets. The very idea of putting my bottom where someone else's bottom has been. Ew.
Hey, knock it off. We gotta keep an eye out for the enemy.
I ain't scared of them. Handout kids and pregnant girls. They can clean my butthole. Get me?
Louisa, what are you doing here?
Who's she?
One of our house cleaners.
This is where I live.
Here? This slum?
This is a nice neighborhood. Besides, you only pay me $15,000 a year.
Now, Louisa, shame-o on you-o. Don't go asking for handouts. My family has worked hard for what they've got. Why don't you take the rest of the week off without pay and think about this little incident?
You're terrible.
Why do you say that?
You should have just fired her on the spot. Giving her time off, she'll do what all poor people do. Abuse drugs and have another kid. And I mean that compassionately. Oh my God! Look at that! Mortal sin at 3 o'clock.
Hey, stop right there!
What's your problem?
We're heterosexual virgins and you're our problem!
What? Why?
Don't push your luck, kid. I know how it goes. You start by holding her hands. Then it's a trip up and down the bases, fingering the tush. Then you fire off a big home run, and before you know it, you got a kid on your hands who's gonna live his whole life in prison.
Yeah, spending my parents' tax dollars.
You're only holding hands.
I bet you smoke pot. Poor people love the pot.
No, I have asthma, thank you.
I bet you pleasure yourself.
Sometimes. Was that?
And what's this?
Pornography! Ah, amputee pornography!
That is a statue from the museum from the Renaissance. What are you talking about?
You fool! Museums are the worst. Subsidized dens of sin leading people astray. My father says we should stop subsidizing decadent culture and start supporting things that really matter. Like the oil industry.
I think we already do that.
Shut up, pervert! He wants to chop your arms off and have sexual intercourse with you.
We have pledged to wait, and your indecency has just offended these lovely, impressionable girls.
Yeah!
I'm just a teenage boy.
You're a degenerate.
You're a dickhead.
Say that again.
We were only holding hands, but we have made out once.
No!
Look, I don't want a kid yet, and I have masturbated. So what? You are dickheads.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force! He was leading you astray!
And we saved you from a life of vice.
And prostitution and picking up cigarette butts looking for a fix. If she isn't a streetwalker already.
Are you?
What?
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Well, we saved those kids from unnatural desires.
It's true that sometimes the only way to manage teenage sex is by acts of extreme violence.
Which is good because violence is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, this whole place smells so yucky.
Well, that's because we're near the school. Look, they're starting their spirit rally. It's horrible!
Are you okay?
I don't know. Something's wrong. My body's going through some changes.
I noticed.
I have these desires, and I can't control them.
Me too.
Desires to kill everyone in a violent, testosterone-fueled rage. My voice is changing, and I can shoot laser beams out of my eyes. Look! Feel my wrath, whore!
Let's get back to base. We need to regroup. Zoe? Don't make me smite you.
Yes. Smite me.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Team, that is the spirit. It's so good to see young people motivated in a positive way. Oh my, what happened to you guys?
It was horrible, Mr. Hitzman. The girls weren't wearing pants.
Please, the vapors are enough to kill a man. Do you hear me, Zoe and Tallulah? You've been cursed.
No.
Now, gather round. I have a plan. During tomorrow night's game, you sneak into the science wing of Wickenburg High, rescue the stem cells, and set them free in the forest, saving America in the process.
What's a plan?
Pay no attention to that now, Dirk, for it is time for the grand finale!
Farmville Hills Academy rules! Game on, Kung Fu Laser Girls, you hosers. You think you can defeat our alternative agenda quite so easily? Well, while you're out harvesting stem cells, we shall be harvesting you. Eh? Ow! Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
The Life Invader tablet. It's time to dock.
Reservation. We live there like kings, but something has come to Los Santos that will disturb peace between white man and Indian.
If only Pablo were here. With his Mexican cunning, he could make sense of what this indigenous savage is going on about.
No, Pablo, he big problem.
Chief! Another chief.
That's right. Pablo's a hell of a problem. He's a goddamn communist.
Tiny bins, only letting us out to drink firewater and work construction jobs. But